What's up, everybody? It's me, Leo, the Visual Magpie. It's awesome to see you guys again. I do apologize. I know I've been away for a while. Okay, long story short, I moved house, life was changing, changed jobs, then my confidence, which was here, went there, and I thought I lost my mojo. Long story, check out the previous video. Today, I'm dealing with, you guessed it, finally, the iPhone XS Max. Right, so two things I need to find out today. This is the iPhone XS Max. I need to find out two things. Whether I've paid an excess, the iPhone XS part, have I paid an excess, too much money for this thing? Or is this phone awesome to the max? Is this an excess or is it awesome to the max? Excess or max? That's the competition today. And I've obviously picked a very gray day. I would have loved to do this in a lovely sunny environment, but if this phone is as awesome as they say it is, it should be able to handle this without missing a step. So let's check that out and see how that goes. Shall we? Right then, I'm not the most technical person, but I'm gonna channel my inner techie today. Okay, so let's go. For those of you that think you're super technical, here you go. So this new device should have, it's got optical image stabilization on the front facing lens. This camera has a telelens that's 1.8 at the widest, and the zoom lens is 2.8. Am I sounding convincing? The rear camera is 26 millimeters versus the previous camera on the iPhone X, which was 28 millimeters wide. So that just means that on this phone you can fit more things in. It's a bit wider. This camera has bigger pixels. Ooh, right? It's got smart HDR. And that should mean better low light performance, and that should mean greater dynamic range. Yeah. More detail. This camera has some amazing computational technology that it takes the photo even before you take your photo. That means you should never miss a great shot. But basically, I'm gonna test it, this phone, this iPhone XS Max, against the 7 Plus, which is a really decent piece of kit. I've used this myself a lot and loved what it does. And I won't compare it all the time, but sometimes when I feel like I need to be a bit more, objective, I will test it against this bit of kit. So I'm gonna test these two out and see which one's better. Whoa, here we go. So this is the iPhone 7 Plus front-facing camera. It looks pretty bright, and just walking along again, a bit of shake. Wonder if there'll be much difference with this. Wow, welcome to the front-facing camera of the iPhone XS Max. I'm just walking along and it is shaking in my hand with each step I take. It'll be interesting to see how well it resolves that, what this optical image stabilization will do. So yeah, boom. Let's see. Just walking along as you do in the street, talking to yourself on your phone, and why not, right? test now is this Smart HDR. I want to see if the colors are going to be better on this bad boy than on this old school geezer. Let's give it a go.
That's why I asked them. Some of them don't. Yeah, I'll have the money. You just hold that a second, mate. Just hold it. You got to put your arm up there in a moment. You don't need to.
Wow, I can certainly see that this takes the picture way more quickly. I know there's some kind of thing that Apple copied from Google, this idea that the photo is being taken before you're taking the photo. You can clearly see that.
Hold that tight now, darling.
See that lag?
Hold the string as well. No, put it around your wrist.
Boom, quite a bit of lag there on this phone. So yeah, there's something to it. This camera will shoot 4K at 60 frames a second, and this one will only do 4K at 30 frames a second. Is it a massive difference? Well, it must be if they've included it. So let's give it a go and see what you think. Okay, so I'm here with these two phones. This is the iPhone 7 Plus, this is the iPhone XS Max, and I'm gonna try burst mode. If you look around, the light isn't great, it's pretty gray, and I've typically had rubbish times trying to take photos of things on the street with this camera. Will this be any better? I don't know. I'm gonna do burst mode. Let's see what we can do. So boom, this is the XS Max. We're going 60 frames a second, 4K, beautiful colors. Let's see how the HDR works. Let's do it. Wow, that me looks really good. I'm wasting my life doing videos on my phone. Right, let's try the old 7 Plus. That's a wrap. Okay, so apparently this phone, the iPhone XS Max, has a 30% larger sensor, so that means it should capture more light. And they say it's got bigger pixels. Again, that should allow you to get better night shots. Whereas this old boy, who knows what he's got, but he's like 3 generations ago. So let's compare the two and see if this is what it's supposed to be. Well, certainly just from looking into the back of these cameras, it looks like the colors on this phone are looking a lot more lovely, and the one thing you can really tell is that there's a lot wider of an angle with this camera. I've kind of come to the end of the evening, and I think I'm just gonna round off with some low light shots. I feel we're in a very loud place. I hope you can hear what I'm saying. But yeah, let's take some low light photos, shall we? Bigger pixels, a wider sensor versus the old school. So, what do I make of the iPhone XS Max? Is this phone awesome to the max, or did I pay in excess of what I should have paid? And to be fair, I've paid more than 1,000 Great British pounds to get this piece of kit. I compared it to the iPhone 7 Plus, which is about 4 generations old. What are the results? Okay. The iPhone XS Max. I've written the notes down so I can go through everything that I've tested personally. Non-scientific experiment, this is what I found. The iPhone 10 is marginally brighter, marginally warmer. It's marginally faster. It's marginally wider. The colors are marginally better. It's got adjustable depth of field. I like that. Because last time I remember taking photos on my 7 Plus, and if the photos were ruined, after the fact there was nothing I could do, whereas with the adjustable depth of field, that's really cool. 240 frames a second, that's way slower than 120 frames a second. You can shoot in 4K at 60 frames a second. This camera is really great at figuring out dark and light. It really knows how to balance the difference between dark and light if you focus it correctly. It'll give you a lot more light in the shadows. But do I feel that it blew the iPhone 7 Plus out of the water? If I had to have a photo or some videos put in front of me, would I know beyond the shadow of a doubt that it was taken on the iPhone XS Max? All those gains, so many little gains that they've made, they've definitely improved it. This is definitely the latest and greatest. But was it worth it? Well, friend, honestly speaking, I think I paid too much. I think I paid far too much for this. You can get this, if you're on a budget, you can get a decent iPhone 8, iPhone 10. I'm sure they're way better than what I have with the 7 Plus, and I'm still happy with the 7 Plus. That's my verdict. I paid in excess. What do you think about the iPhone XS Max? Do you own it? What do you think? I think that it does a lot of other things really well. But if you're buying this just for the camera alone, video and photography, and you're tossing it up between older models, I just can't justify it. Well, that's my opinion. Let me know what you think down in the comments. And as always, I'm the Visual Magpie. Until next time, salute.